What's up, guys? Brent Hess here with Cagezilla Unchained, brought to you by the Wild Style Network. We are here talking about our upcoming Cagezilla 86 card, August 23rd. The card is complete fire from top to bottom. We have a ton of amazing fights on the card for you guys. One of them being a huge heavyweight fight for you. We have Chris, the polar bear, Tincler here joining us on Cagezilla Unchained. Chris, how you doing today, my man? Thank you for joining us.
No problem. Pretty good. Just trying to stay calm, relaxed, injury-free, prepared for the fight.
That's right. That's right. That's important. Well, hey, you haven't been on here before, man. It's a pleasure to have you on, and give our audience a way to get to know you a little bit. Give us a little bit on your background, maybe your upbringing a little bit, if you want to share, and kind of what led to MMA for you.
So I got into martial arts and weightlifting, exercising, and stuff like that. Primarily, just every normal children's upbringing. I had parents; they instilled respect, a good work ethic, and stuff like that. Then just neighborhood bullies around the neighborhood. They started picking on people that couldn't defend themselves. So I decided it was time to learn how to defend myself. And ever since then, martial arts and just overall fitness has been a big part of my life.
That's amazing, man. Yeah, so it was instilled in you since you were a young man. Now, I commentated your last time under the bright Cagezilla lights. It was kind of a unique one, man. Kind of declared officially an exhibition due to your opponent not getting his proper medicals submitted. And you, I gotta say, man, have been a complete professional to deal with. You've gotten everything submitted on time. You're always checking in with me to make sure everything is lining up heading into your fight. So I appreciate that, and that's respectable from a young athlete, man. And so I gotta say that right off the bat. But the exhibition fight, although they only let it go one round, I thought you made your point pretty clear, man. And I thought you got your experience of making that walk under the bright Cagezilla lights. Tell us, what might you have gained from that experience that maybe you can bring forth into future fights?
So walking into that fight specifically, I was iffy on my striking and stuff like that. I've competed multiple times in jiu-jitsu, grappling, stuff like that. So I was confident in the ground game aspect. So walking in, I kind of will admit I let ego take over, and I kind of just wanted to go blow for blow just to prove myself in one aspect that I was weary of.
Yeah.
But, once I got the, final decision, spoke to the fans that watched the fight and stuff like that, I gained a little bit of confidence. So I pretty much just am walking away with that ego extinguished, and I'm ready to bring all of my tricks instead of just one field.
That's beautiful, man. Yeah, no, you should have felt good about that, even though it was an exhibition. And I gotta ask, because I was commentating the fight and kind of like, what the heck happened? I mean, what did happen there at the end of that fight? Why did it only go one round?
So due to the lack of medical paperwork and stuff like that, walking out to the cage, we were notified that if one of us were to start bleeding excessively
Oh,
because of the lack of proper testing being submitted, they had to stop it to avoid, possible diseases being spread to the fighters.
right. Okay.
And so the referee saw how much he was bleeding and came to my corner and said that we were done.
Okay. The fight is over, right? You win the exhibition. I mean, you don't usually see that. Usually exhibitions go all the rounds and both guys get their hands raised. But if you're gonna have an exhibition, man, that's how you want to have it, man, because I tell you what, man, yeah, I couldn't tell you were a grappler. I thought you were a dang boxer, man. You look sharp in there, man. Really sharp. So kudos to you, man, on that. Well, hey, moving into your big upcoming heavyweight fight, you're up against John Flynn, a guy who I think is also, I would say, a grappling-based guy as well, maybe. A guy who has some grappling experience like you. I think he's done some tournaments and stuff like that. So a good a good stylistic matchup. But like yourself, is officially 0-0 in regards to his MMA record. Tell us what might you know about John, kind of heading into this big heavyweight fight.
I only know really one thing, and that's because someone told me. They caught wind of his name, they looked him up, they went and did their own research. I've been primarily focusing on myself, less
Okay.
so my opponent,
Yeah.
trying to bring the not really worried about their game, more so worried about mine. But
Hmm.
the only thing that I've caught wind of, like you said, he has grappling experience. I believe the only thing I was told in regards to him is he's about a blue belt with a couple smooth competitions under his belt.
Okay. Cool.
And
Cool.
other
Yeah.
than
So
that, I'm not sure.
not too much. Not too much. Yeah. Well, man, I'm excited to see you back inside the Cagezilla cage officially, right, this time, and making that walk, and for them, if you win, to get your hand raised, right, properly,
Yes,
and
sir.
so, um, but tell our audience, Chris, what kind of energy can we expect to see from the polar bear come fight night? What can our Cagezilla fans expect to see from you come August 23rd at Cagezilla 86?
I just I like to move forward.
Yeah.
I look at myself as a, you know, brick shit house. I like to go forward regardless of the damage I'm receiving. I don't like to show that I've been damaged in any way, shape, or form. So I just love to keep marching forward.
Nice. Yeah, the polar bear doesn't take a step backward. They just come forward, baby. They're just inflicting damage. If they get a little bit, they're not worried about it. And it sounds
Yes,
like
sir.
that's the mentality you got coming into this big heavyweight fight, man. Well, I know with your grappling background, and it sounds like you got a little bit of a kind of a long-standing martial arts background. Maybe you can give some insight into to the younger guys. I always like to throw in a couple questions from our fan zone. Maybe you can get some insight into to the little guys on maybe some of the guys, not little guys who are maybe starting out in the sport, that kind of want to look up to you guys who are actually doing it. Maybe they haven't got started yet. Maybe they don't know where to start. Give us a typical training day. What does a typical training day look like for you when you're training for a big fight?
A lot of endurance training. I'm a firm believer that cardio is important, but I also believe that cardio will get you to the deep end of the pool, but endurance is what's going to keep you afloat in the deep end. So
Mm,
I like to drive myself to the point of being tired and then work my hardest while I'm tired, just so I get that little like, I want to collapse, I want to do this, I want to give up, but just pushing forward. So normal scheduling wise, I'll weight lift moderately heavy just to keep the muscle up, keep my strength. But for the most part, it's high reps with moderately heavy weight for about 2 hours, and then striking and grappling, just MMA based training for about another 2 to 3 hours. So in total, I'm trying to drag myself through the mud for about 4 to 5 hours every day.
wow. Jeez. Yeah. I mean, yeah. And like you say, a lot of guys will focus on trying to get tired and then take a break. But you're saying you're trying to get tired, and then that's when you try to see kind of what you're made of, right? What kind of endurance you got, and how far you can actually push that threshold and push those limits that you have. And man, that's an amazing thing, man. Because as a bigger guy, as a heavyweight, you don't see that a lot, that mentality for you to kind of push to that limit and then push past that limit to find maybe a higher limit for yourself. That's a great mindset to have, and something to carry forward, and something to pass along, like you say, like we're doing right now, to these younger athletes, to make sure that they're not hanging out in the comfort zone, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yep. The more uncomfortable you are in training, the better the training's gonna be.
Right, right. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Suffer in training, and then the fight, right? Not easy, but the fight is easier. And so, yeah, no, great stuff. And Second question, I guess. Let's throw it out there, man, because you're a big boy. Who are some of your favorite fighters to watch, to maybe look at their style, to emulate their style, and maybe bring a little bit of that into yours?
There's only really one fighter that I look up to and pay attention to consistently, and that would probably have to be Derek Lewis, just because, he loves to keep moving forward. He cracks jokes, he interacts with the fans in a positive way,
Yeah.
and stuff like that. There's biased opinions and stuff like that, but I haven't really witnessed anything of him that is really negative or harmful to the sport.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I just love his overall character, how he interacts, how he fights, everything.
That is awesome, man. I didn't see that coming, because usually, well, first of all, usually guys have like a couple guys. Like, if I like this guy, I like this guy, I like this guy. But when you said, there's really only one guy, and I definitely didn't see Derek Lewis coming. I thought you were going to say, like, being a heavyweight, maybe Tom Aspinall or, like,
Yeah.
one of those guys, which is cool too. But Derek Lewis, the knockout king, man. And you very well could be right there with him from the last performance I seen. So good stuff, man. Well, I like to finish off with a quote or a motto or something fun, something empowering that you maybe has been shared with you from coaches or teammates or your family that maybe you can pass along and pay it forward to our Cagezilla Unchained audience here.
Yeah, like I said earlier, I like to go endurance training, stuff like that. A common phrase when you're in the weight room or exercising excessively is "I'm dying. I feel like I'm dying." So I like to look them in the eyes and say, "I'm only dying. I'll live."
Say that again. I'm only dying. I'll live.
I'm only dying. I'll live.
I like that. I like that, man. Yeah, no, that's a good one because once you reach that point of, a lot of people's, whether it's weight cutting or whether it's, reaching their last, rep or something like that, or, hey, coach telling you, hey, you got to do 2 more rounds after you're exhausted. They're like, I'm dying. And it's like, no, 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 no. I'll live. I'll live. I like that, man. Just to keep that mentality, man. Well, man, you got a super bright future. You're very mindful. You're very intuitive, and I can't wait to see you in there, man, and follow your journey. Tell us how we can do that. Whether that be your any social medias that you might have, your team's social medias, or give out any shout outs you might want to give. Go ahead and do that now.
So as of right now, social media wise, I'm kind of off the grid. So I'll just leave my gyms, Instagram, all those that have helped me along the way.
Okay.
Gustavo Machado Norfolk, I believe their specific handle is GMBJJ Norfolk.
Okay.
Violent Hippie Jiu Jitsu and Ocean View Martial Arts.
Okay.
As for personal mentors, shout out, stuff like that. Obviously, I wouldn't be here without my family, my mom and dad being supportive every step of the way,
Yeah.
my beautiful significant other, and my mentors in martial arts, Mark Saucer, Chan Hack Park, which was my original martial arts instructor,
Wow.
and Mitch Aguiar and Josh Haska.
Okay. Cool, man. Yeah, no, I know you're bringing the heat, man, and I can't wait to see you in there. I hope that training and everything continues to go awesome for you. You stay healthy, like you mentioned at the beginning of the interview here, because I think that's the most important thing. I hope that that everything continues to go awesome for you leading up to this fight. Thank you for taking time to join us here on Cagezilla Unchained. I know you got a ton of stuff going on too, man. I mean, I know you're taking a break from work right now to get this interview done. So thanks once again, Chris, for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
All right, guys, there you have it. The polar bear, Chris Tincler, will be in our huge heavyweight fight here coming up on Cagezilla 86, August 23rd. You do not want to miss this card. Ton of exciting fights here in the pipeline for you guys coming up August 23rd. Once again, pick up your tickets at CagezillaTickets.com. Until next time, much love and respect. We'll see you guys all very soon.